what's the best way to learn and empathize with what other people are going through, whether you're Black, white, or any other race,
Right.
or anything like that?
Right. I think it really comes down to choosing to educate yourself. We make a lot of excuses as we don't know. That's the way I was raised. That's all I've been exposed to. But if you want to be a part of assisting, helping, bringing about change, awareness to any type of culture that's being treated, in a negative light, whether it's LGBTQ, whether it's women, whether it's Muslims, whether it's African Americans, whomever it is, you got to educate yourselves on their culture. You have to educate yourselves on what they're experiencing. The other piece is that you can't be afraid to recognize that you are ignorant in that area. I think we have to really recognize the stereotypes and the biases, as I stated before, that we hold, but we also have to decide what type of message we want to send out to the world.
You talk about empathy a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's really important. So let's talk about George Floyd, for instance. George Floyd
Mm-hmm.
was 6'7", muscular, strong, intimidating looking Black guy. He had to behave in ways that, frankly, I or you don't have to behave, because people are naturally intimidated by him.
That 6'7" Black guy should not automatically come with intimidation.
Yeah.
And then that intimidation is based on what? This is what I'm asking each person to ask themselves. When you look at this tall Black guy, why do they intimidate you? Do they intimidate you from an actual experience that you've had? Do they intimidate you from a comment that he or she has made to you? No, they're silent. You're just looking at them. So what is it? It's the stereotype. Because if I was to take that George Floyd character and put in that character a Mark, Rick, or Steve, you would not feel the same intimidation that you feel from George Floyd. So that is that recognition of the bias, right? The stereotype, the microaggressions that are already there, because they're causing us to set a vantage point of judge, and intimidation doesn't even exist.
We got to recognize that we've got a community that gets treated in ways that are different from other communities, in ways that are not fair. And we need to empathize with people. And I will say this, Dr. East, I've been very happy to see, groups of people that you would have never expected to stand up and support this movement, support it. I think that shows that not only that there's hope, but that we have a lot more good folks in this country than we do bad folks.
I agree. I think that that's that positivity of reframing things, and not just always focusing on what is not happening, but focuses on the things that are happening and the mindsets that are evolving, and giving people time to evolve. Remember, folk are really being educated right now. On this thing, and they're figuring it out. And so instead of us screaming and saying, well, you haven't stated your position, do something about it. Educate them so that they can state their position. But then the other piece of that is to also, if we are to have any effective change as a people, we have to forgive the ignorances of fools. And we have to learn we have to allow people to make amends who make mistakes. We allow people who get the statement wrong to come back and get the statement right.
100% agree. 100% agree. Like, we have to forgive people that make mistakes, that are legitimately trying to learn.